Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Tuesday of week 5. Today for English, we're going to be looking at a narrative structure. And I want you to watch the video that I've attached to the email, and it will show you that the structure of an email has an orientation, a complication, and a resolution. And today we're going to be looking at that on a story graph. And that is a visual way for us to see that our orientation starts off quite slow because it introduces our characters, our setting, and the mood of the story. And it builds up to a complication. So that can have lots of little complications leading up to a major problem. And that is our peak of our story, and that makes our stories interesting. And then we come back down to a resolution, which is how we solve the problem or the ending of our story. So today with your writing, you can either use your Pobble image to help you. They also have some sentence starters on there as well, or I've given you a sentence starter to give you an idea of what you can make a story about. What I want you to do is in your book or on a piece of paper, I want you to draw a story graph just like in the video. I want you to put your ideas in there. I don't want you to write the story on the story graph. Put your idea. Who are your characters? What is the setting? What's the mood? Is it good? Is it scary? Is it sad to start with? And then you can also plot along your story graph some of your problems that might lead to your major complication. And then I want you to plan, how is that problem going to be resolved? And then once you've planned it on the story graph, then you can have a go at writing it. I would love to see some photos of this today because it is a visual representation of your story and a good way of planning. We're going to be covering a lot more of this when we're back in class as well, but this is a good way to start planning your story out. Don't forget to also do your daily reading. Your writing's being done with this, so you don't need to do that extra unless you want to. And also your magic words on Literacy Planet. I'm going to have a look at those today and see who's doing what and at what level. Okay, for Year 2 Maths, we're going to be looking at representing 3-digit numbers. So that's going to include our ones, our tens, and hundreds. So you're going to just select any 3-digit number. I don't mind what you come up with. I've given you an example here. I want you to print off these arrow card sheets, or you can make them yourself. It's a good way of expanding our number to see how many hundreds we have, how many tens we have, and how many ones we have. So in your book, what I want you to write is any 3-digit number. So I've got an example here, 186. It's got a picture also of the arrow cards and to show you what to do. So you'll pick the 100 because there's 1 in the hundreds column. You'll pick 80 because there's 8 in the tens column, and you'll pick a 6 because it's in the ones column. And then you can see them separate, and then you can layer them on top of each other to build the number. Once you've done that, I want you to draw your base 10 in your book. That's the MABs. So in this case, you would have 1 square for your hundreds, 1 big square. You would have 8 tens, so the long rectangles, and you would have 6 little squares to represent the 6 ones. Once you've done that, I also want you to write their number in words. All right, so you can do a minimum of 5 of those, I think. Do as many as you can. It'll help you understand what makes up our numbers. Okay, Year 3. Today we'll be exploring fractions. So I've made it a bit of a hands-on day today just to explore in a couple of different games. So the first game is the building fractions. So you have one circle on the page to start with, but there's also down the bottom, you'll see where you can select your little parts to put into the circle. They've got extra circles there. You'll need to drag them out as well, because on the right-hand side, there will be some fractions that you will need to match up and drag over. So the circle, just say it has 1/2, which is 1/2. You will need to get a circle with half of it with the little parts. So the colored part, it will be half. Once you've made the half in the circle, you're going to click and drag that shape into that box, and that way you can match them up. The other game is a matching cake fractions. So that one's looking a little bit more complex fractions. You will have, there's an instruction. So watch the tutorial, have a look and see what they do. But you'll need to match up what the customer wants to the cake that matches it. All right. Also with that building fractions games, it actually has lots of different levels, but I want you to start at level 1. Even if it's really easy for you, I want you to build up in that knowledge and that skill, but only go as far as you can. If you can't do them, send me an email, or we can have a look at more of those next week. All right, science. Today we're going to be looking at two different activities, looking at solids and liquids. Still, there is a complete these statements sheet. It's a cut and paste activity if you can print it out. You have lots of different sentences, but you need to match two together to make it a statement about either a solid or a liquid. Have a read of all of those parts first before you go cutting and pasting, and don't paste until you've got them all laid out. If you can't print them up, I want you to write them in your book, or you can make your own cut and paste activity if you like. All right, the other activity is a solids and liquids sorting sheet. So this sheet's pretty cool because it's got pictures on it and also some instructions of how you can use those pictures to play different games. If you can't print these off, you can actually draw your cards yourself, or you can write on them describing what is in the picture. That way you can still have a go at some of the fun games. Okay, if there's any questions whatsoever about today, I want you to email me and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay dry, stay warm, and stay happy. And I will talk to you all very soon. Bye.